Do you like, love, or hate LeBron downplaying the rematch versus Denver?
Well, I hate it. That's my personal opinion. I'm not blaming him for it. He can't be worried about what the public thinks, what I think, what anybody thinks. He's trying to win the championship, and I respect that. But this is what LeBron James does. You know, he wants you to rely strictly on the game, right? But on far too many occasions, when the theater of competition takes fold, he doesn't want to be a participant in that. Meaning that you somebody, you talking smack to him, you coming at him and what have you. He doesn't feed into that. One of the reasons we loved when Lance Stevenson blew in his air legs and Wendy is because we knew that obviously he was the superior player. He was playing on a superior team. The Indiana Pacers were trying to antagonize him, and we knew that LeBron James was going to respond to it. We could just tell, and we were good with that. In this particular instance, it's a different animal. You ain't the Giant, okay? You're supposed to be the Giant Slayer. The Giants are the Denver Nuggets, the reigning defending NBA champions, who, by the way, swept you last year. 4 straight in the Western Conference Finals, who, by the way, have beaten you 8 straight. And oh, by the way, the last 3 times y'all played against one another in this season, okay, opening night, it was their ring ceremony, so they watched it. They let you watch them get their rings. Then they went out there and took you out. The second go round, they took you out when Kobe's statue was unveiled. And the third time they took you out was when LeBron James dropped 40,000 points for his career. Okay, those are the 3 nights that the Lakers obviously were looking forward to celebrating, and it was ruined by the Denver Nuggets. So you would think that when you've got that going up against you, you raise up and you're like, yeah, I need to take this personal. Nothing else has worked. Being calm hasn't worked. Being even keel hasn't worked. Just preparing myself as I always do hasn't worked. Something or the normal procedures that works against everybody else hasn't worked for me against this particular squad, the Denver Nuggets. And still, we hear what LeBron James says. So again, I understand it. You understand? He's the player, not me, and he can't be worried about what other people are thinking. But if you're a spectator, it does raise the ante a bit if you listen to LeBron James like, they don't whip our ass about 8 straight times. I'm sick of these dudes. I want this. I want this bad, and I hope that we're ready. It would have been nice.
Okay, so I have a couple thoughts about this. 2 kind of opposing thoughts, quite honestly. I understand what Stephen A is saying, and the truth is that LeBron's lying. He's saying there's too much emphasis on a rematch, and he knows it because he knows that there's a ton of emphasis, and rightfully so, because Denver Nuggets and the coach called out LeBron after they beat them and all of that, and LeBron clapped back and was like, you made enjoy your light. I am the sun. I'm never off or whatever. I'm always shining. I'm always on. Whatever. LeBron tried to lay down the law, and then AD came out and said, oh, me and LeBron can't wait. We're essentially looking to get our revenge back on them. We've had these conversations during the offseason. They were talking this all up. And now the Nuggets are legit and elite, and the Lakers are not. And so now he wants to downplay it. I mean, listen, I think the whole thing was nonsense about LeBron acting like he was going to retire, which there's no chance he was. But let's just say what LeBron says is true, that he's telling the truth. If he was telling the truth about all this stuff, then that means the Nuggets literally beat you so bad you contemplated retirement. You don't think you want any revenge about that? You don't think there's too much emphasis then on a rematch? Get out of here. I mean, so of course there is. LeBron always lies in these situations. And it's just, it's disingenuous. Now, on the other side, I want to say that if you're LeBron James, this is the appropriate response. Like, it's appropriate to be like, there's too much emphasis on this. You want to downplay it, right? Like, you don't want to add fuel to that fire. You want to say, hey, we're just excited to play. We're looking forward to it, blah, 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 right? Give those generic answers. You're not like, yeah, we're looking for revenge. The Nuggets don't know who they're dealing with. Let's go. You're not going to say that. That would be bad leadership, quite honestly. That puts pressure on yourself. That puts pressure on your team. It puts pressure everywhere. It adds, bulletin board material to the Nuggets. And I just think that you want to downplay everything, right? You almost want to try to rock the Nuggets to sleep, being like, this is just whatever. You don't want to wake them up any more than they already are. So from that aspect, it is the right decision. from an entertainment aspect, this is where, we've seen other sports lately become more WWE, UFC type stuff where there's a lot of trash talking back and forth. And it makes things a little bit more exciting. So from a fan perspective, if LeBron James did come in heavy and was like, I want to beat them and I want to beat them badly, let's go, that does make everyone a little bit more excited. It makes Denver fans hate LeBron a little bit more, and it makes the Lakers fans feel like, all right, we got this. We have a chance now. LeBron is ready to go. Let's go. So from an entertainment perspective, it is a little bit more fun to see that energy. But from a maturity standpoint, and if like the Lakers were my team, or if I was, a GM or the owner or the coach, I would be like, God, I would be telling everyone, downplay this. We're not looking for revenge. None of that. We keep our revenge in this locker room. In this locker room, I'm saying we need revenge. Let's go. Those guys think they're better than us and they're not, all the generic coach mumbo jumbo. But I'm not leaking that out to the presses. I'm not letting that run amok, because it also sets LeBron up to fail in a lot of ways, because if they do lose, then that's all the media is talking about. So, because if LeBron comes out heavy and says, this is a big deal, we got to win, let's go, and then he loses, they're going to be like, well, how do you feel about that? And then he has to answer to that. But the truth is we know it's not too much emphasis on it, because he even, during his own offseason, tweeted back out at the Denver Nuggets and again, referred to him as the son, and how, he's always on and all that nonsense. And so I just think that, LeBron is in a difficult situation to some degree, because he is so massive, but I just wish there was a better way for him to go about it without being disingenuous, without gaslighting and lying to the masses, just being like, I get why there's so much emphasis on this rematch. I'm really excited to play the Nuggets. I really can't wait for another opportunity to play them. Of course, I would love, to get them back for knocking us out last season. But, I'm not really thinking about it in that context. I get it, and I get why fans are, but I'm not. I always try to take each game by game, series by series, and that has always worked for me. When I played when I was playing for Miami, when I was playing the Spurs, they beat us and we beat them, and I just focus on the one game at a time, one series at a time. I was not thinking about anything that happened in years past. Like, that can be a more genuine, honest response. But he then just acts like it's crazy for anyone to be emphasizing this. And it's like, you helped fuel that fire, all off season and into the beginning of this season. So I don't like when players just straight up lie, because again, you're gaslighting the fans. You're trying to tell the fans and the media that that there's not an emphasis on this rematch, when everybody has been talking about this. Of course, that's what they want to see. You got swept by the Denver Nuggets and then said you were contemplating retirement. The LeBron James was saying, I think I may retire now after being swept by the Nuggets. And you think that there's too much emphasis on this rematch? Get out of here. That's nonsense. Straight nonsense. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. Do you think there's too much emphasis on the rematch? And do you think LeBron's lying or telling the truth? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.